Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about my TBR for the month of July. So for the month of July, I want to read a total of 5 books, and one of them is an ARC that is supplied to me through NetGalley, so it's an e-ARC that I don't have a physical copy of, and then one of them I don't own yet, so it's going to be an interesting video. The first book that I am anticipating reading for the month of July is A Quart of Mist and Fury by Sarah J. Maas. This is the second book following the Quart of Thorns and Roses book. I am currently in the middle of A Quart of Thorns and Roses. I pre-film all these videos, but I know I'm gonna continue on with the series. I don't know if it's a series or a trilogy, so like, forgive me, I'm gonna say trilogy, but I'm going to be continuing on with A Quart of Mist and Fury upon completing A Quart of Thorns and Roses. So this is my first read for the month of July, and it has over 600 pages. So we're starting off very ambitious. Following that, I'll be reading A Quart of Wings and Ruin, which is the one that I don't own yet. I tend to buy the first 2 books in a series or trilogy or whatever it may be, because I finish the first one and I immediately want to go on to the second one. And if I really like the first one, then I'll go out and buy the third one. Anyways, I need to buy that one this month, so that'll be something that I do. That's the third book I'm gonna read this month. I don't really have a whole lot to say on it yet, mostly because I can't tell you what it's about because it'll spoil the second book. And then I really don't know what it's about yet. I'm still getting into it, so I don't really have a lot to say in terms of the synopsis on those. Sorry. Next up, I'll go ahead and talk about my e-ARC that I was supplied, and that is 100 Days of Sunlight by Abbie Emmons. This is actually a self-published novel, and I've heard pretty good things about it for it being a self-published novel. I was granted a copy of this ARC through NetGalley via the publisher author because, you know, self-published. I'm really excited to read this one. I believe it's a contemporary, and I'm really into contemporaries, and it's really nice that I have an e-ARC because I'm actually traveling this month. Myself and my family are going on a Mediterranean cruise, and we have like one at-sea day and then like some travel time, and it'll be nice to not have to lug around a ton of books. So it'll be nice to have a digital book that I read, and I have to read this and then give my review by the end of the month. I'll be posting my review of that and all of these books over on my Goodreads, as well as sometimes on my Instagram. I will feature reviews. So if you want to ever see a book that I mention here and see if I've reviewed it, you can always check down in the description box for those links. I do tend to review pretty much every book I read, even if I just kind of write a couple sentences as to why I do a rating. Sometimes I'll do like a full-blown essay for my reviews. Sometimes I won't. Depends on how I feel about the book. If you want to check those out, again, Goodreads down below. Feel free to be my friend. I need more friends on Goodreads because I love Goodreads. I only have 2 books left, so this is going to be a pretty short TBR. The reason my TBR is smaller for this month is because at the end of the month there's the Reading Rush readathon, and that is actually previously known as Booktubeathon, and I have a TBR video for that coming out soon, within the next few days, so like, you should check it out as soon as it comes out. But I have like 7 or 8 books that I want to read during that readathon, so I did a separate TBR video for that though, because like, it'd be weird to include it in my July TBR, even though it is my July TBR. Do you see what I'm saying here? So this is everything I'm going to be reading from like the 1st until the 21st, and the majority of that I am on vacation, so like that's why it's a little bit smaller, but some of these books are really long, so I don't know what I'm saying. So what I did for this next book was I went on my bookshelf, and my standalones are organized by color. So I went to the top left-hand corner and I picked out the first book that I hadn't read yet, and it was the second book on the shelf. And that is A List of Cages by Robin Rowe. I don't know what this is about. I had seen it all over the book community. This was when I had first joined the book community, and so I like bought anything I had seen anybody mention, and I found it at a discount shop when we were on vacation, and it was like $3, and I was like, heck yeah. And it's like in perfect condition. So, oh no, it's not. We got a little water damage. So I'll go ahead and read the synopsis of this one, considering I don't know what it's about, and I figure I'll share it with you. We'll learn together. It says, when Adam Blake lands the best elective ever in his senior year, serving as an aide to the school psychologist, he thinks he's got it made. Sure, it means a lot of sitting around, which isn't easy for a guy with ADHD, but he can't complain since he gets to spend the period texting all his friends. Then the doctor asks him to track down a troubled freshman who keeps dodging her, and Adam discovers that the boy is Julian, the foster brother he hasn't seen in 5 years. Adam is ecstatic to be reunited. At first, Julian seems like the boy he once knew. He's still kind-hearted, he still writes stories and loves picture books meant for little kids. But as they spend more time together, Adam realizes that Julian is keeping secrets, like where he hides during the middle of the day and what's really going on inside his house. Adam is determined to help him, but his involvement could cost both boys their lives. That sounds really good. Aww. I feel like this is gonna make me cry. I'm ready. I love a good cry. I'm really looking forward to getting this one off my TBR, and not just because I don't like having books on my TBR, because I love having books on my TBR, and I'm very grateful that I have the privilege to be able to buy books and things like that. But I want it to be a little bit smaller because sometimes I get a little overwhelmed. So that's kind of why I've just started like looking at the top shelf and being like, okay, which of these have I not read, and just going on. And that's what I intend to do for the next couple months until I get it down just a tad. Last up, I have The Inexplicable Logic of My Life by Benjamin Alire Sáenz. I had planned on reading this in the month of May, but I never got around to it because it was at the end of my trip and I was gonna read it on the flight home. And then I started reading Shadow and Bone, and we all know how that went. Then I started reading Six of Crows. It just got pushed back and pushed back, so I really want to read it this month. I read Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe a little over a year ago, and I remember really loving it. I listened to it mostly on audiobook because Lin-Manuel Miranda narrated it, and I was like crying. It was so good. So I immediately picked this one up afterwards because I'm interested to see what I think of his other novel. Again, I don't know anything about this one, so we're gonna read the synopsis together. Okay. Everything is about to change. Until this moment, Sal has always been certain of his place with his adoptive gay father and their loving Mexican-American family. But now his own history unexpectedly haunts him, and life-altering events force him and his best friend Samantha to confront issues of faith, loss, and grief. Suddenly, Sal's throwing punches, questioning everything, and discovering that he no longer knows who he really is. But if Sal's not who he thought he was, who is he? This sounds like it's gonna be a hard-hitting contemporary, and I love those. I love a good book that'll make me cry. Okay, I'm really excited to read this. Why did I put this off? Why have I not read this yet? That seems to be the theme of this video. So, Inexplicable Logic of My Life. Last book that I have to read up until the 21st of July. So that's everything that I want to read this month. I hope you enjoyed this video. Feel free to let me know down in the comments below if you've read any of these books, what you thought of any of these books, and if you want to hang out with me on Goodreads, shameless self-promo again, the link is down below. You can see when I read these books and what I think of these books when I read them. But that's everything I have for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in my next video. Happy reading!